The NBA has always been a star-driven league. From the Bird and Magic era in the 1980s, to Michael Jordan becoming the face of the league in the 1990s, eventually Kobe Bryant took over the 2000s, which then led us to the present of LeBron James and his 8 straight finals appearances. Compared to other sports, the relationship between fans and the players in the NBA is different. Because they aren't required to wear helmets or other protective gear, it allows them to be more expressive and relatable. Because of this, we as fans feel more attached to NBA players, and many fans out there do not even support teams, they just root for their favorite players. One thing that has changed, however, is how we consume the NBA's product. If you were like me, you grew up watching SportsCenter because that was the only way to see highlights from all the games. Now everyone has instant access to highlights at the tip of their fingers. Now, if anything of note has happened in the NBA, social media giants such as House of Highlights, Bleacher Report, or ESPN will have already posted it. An unfortunate reality of how the media covers sports is the lack of equal representation among teams. Bias has always existed around teams in large markets in the media because they generate the most amount of interest. Growing up in Canada, I was always annoyed by the amount of Toronto Maple Leafs coverage forced upon us, especially since for the most part, the Leafs were a disaster. Despite very little winning going on, the Leafs would routinely be the top story on SportsCenter. Now, in 2020, we are subjected to a ridiculous amount of coverage of LeBron James and the LA Lakers. It makes sense that the most popular player from the most popular team would be getting a disproportionate amount of coverage, but this graph of Bleacher Report's posts shows how out of control it really is. Bleacher Report has posted twice the amount of content for the Lakers than any other team in the league, and twice the amount of content for LeBron James over any other player in the league. While it's understandable that they want to acquire the most traffic to their pages as possible, the die-hard NBA fan in me would love to see more guys in the spotlight. I tend to believe this coverage has an effect on free agency as well, due to players wanting their names in the spotlight more and end up signing with or requesting trades to teams in bigger markets. While it may seem as if these social media feeds are just harmless pages posting highlights, there's a lot at stake with how much they control the narrative of the NBA. LeBron James went from the most hated player in the league to the most popular, in large part due to his PR team changing the narrative around him. Here's an example of how Nike uses these social media pages to improve the public perception of LeBron James.
But you know what would be really special? There were no more humble beginnings.
Companies like Nike now know how important a player's perception on social media is, and it is now an integral part of their branding. Now you might ask, why is any of this important? Social media is now the primary viewing experience for the casual fan. Many fans follow the league exclusively through social media and don't even watch games. If there are inherent biases to the way the league is covered, many casual fans are missing out on so many great parts of the league. The problem is, it always comes down to money, and the media will not change a thing if it affects their bottom line. So we will continue to be force-fed Lakers content for the foreseeable future, but maybe one day it will change.
It's a 6-point game. That's the same spot in Game 3 last year.